Maquette, a vague game that no one knew about and no one will ever think of again, or a beautiful game that deserves all the praise and all the glory that comes with a AAA game? Let's find out. Oh, and one more thing. Welcome to the night shift. Let's get you guys clocked in. Hello, 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 guys. It is Review Friday once again, and I'm so glad to get here. We had a little bit of a snafu there earlier in the week. Wednesday's video, we had some technical issues, couldn't get it up, so then we had to sit there and we had to work and try and get that figured out. But on top of that, it gave us a chance to get that figured out and get that posted to you. Got that on you. Got that. You should have got that video yesterday. And then turn around and we pulled out our a little bit of more overtime and gave you guys a second video, Outriders demo review. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out because honestly, it's a really fun demo and I'm excited for the actual game. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Maquette. But before we get into talking about Maquette, where are my manners? As always, I am your shift leader, Logan, here on the night shift, and I am going to help guide you through this review of Maquette. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to talking about it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't even know this game existed until they released the free games of the month for March. And I'm pleasantly surprised. Really, I am. I watched the trailer for it, and I knew it was a puzzle game. I was like, okay, I'm always game for a puzzle game. But I wasn't for sure what all that entailed. So I think once we get into this, I think you guys will be a little bit interested, and not as obviously, if you've seen our videos before, I have some gameplay that I filmed playing going on in the background. So, if it looks interesting, for sure, go download it because it is free to download and it is free to play for March. So, let's get into this. So, if you haven't been to our channel before or you haven't tuned into one of our reviews before, we review on a 1 to 10 scale, and we'll give you that number later in the video. And the way that we get that number is we go through 4 categories: story, gameplay, audio and visuals, and then any bugs or glitches that we came across along the way. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the topic I was not even aware was going to be a huge thing into it, but story. And really, I always say that story is super important to a game, but whenever you have a puzzle game, they can go one of two ways. It can be very story-based or very not. I wasn't 100% sure this was going to be story-based, but it is. And it's such a beautiful story, so beautiful. And I constantly caught myself in the, like, just the cusp of, like, tears because I just, the whole game revolves around this couple. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's I. See, I'm not even gonna try and name them. I had the name, but I don't want to name them and be wrong. But they say their names several times in the games. I want to say it's like Michael and Kathleen or something like that. Caitlin. I think that's it. Michael and Caitlin, I think. But essentially, what the story revolves around is it revolves around those two and about their life together. And it's insinuated that at the very beginning that, you know, you guys are no longer together and you're sad about it and you were going through your things and you found the old sketchbook that you guys drew together. The drew together, like an actual sketchbook. And so every time you complete certain puzzles, you'll get more to that story. And it really it really was one of those things where I was like, "Oh man, like they didn't have to go as hard as they did, but they did. The story just was Let's see. Okay. Um I'm sorry. I was trying to find the actual names for you guys there. Here it is. Yep. Kenzie and Michael. I was close. I was close. Kenzie and Michael. But yeah, it's about how, like, it's about their relationship and how it started with a friendship, butted into a relationship, all the way to the decay and the obvious. Now they're separated, and like I said, every time you complete puzzles, you get little snippets of it, and it just is a really good story. I honestly thought I was only going to be playing this game for 2 3 hours probably, but I've probably logged in probably about at this time probably about 10 hours or more, just because I think it's so good. I love the story. I keep going back to it, and I keep going like, I want to know what happened. I want to know, and I, it scares me a little bit because I saw things in this story that made me go, man, I don't want that to happen to me in life, you know. But it, no matter what happens, it's a beautiful story, and I hope you guys play it just for the story alone. So, aside from the story, I think it's huge, huge selling point is its audio and visuals. This game embraces a beautiful art scheme, a beautiful one. As you can see, like when you go into the cutscenes that give you information about their relationship and how it is and everything like that, you get to see a sketched out picture that they made that pertains to what's going on with them, and like what they drew. And it's so gorgeous to see that sketch, and then when you're done, to come into this environment that's so beautifully vibrant colors and tells the mood. Because I'll tell you this right now, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but the world changes as you get further in. Like right now, the relationship's blossoming, and so the world is so bright and vibrant, full of colors, and everything's great. But later on, the world starts to decay, and there starts to be damage and darker tones, and it just really helps to set the mood and just get you into like, oh, this is going to be a sad part, or oh, I'm supposed to be excited about this, and everything is just so beautifully and well polished. Not to mention the fact that this game uses a unique system where you're in a world within 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 a world. It never ends. Like you saw there, you can put the block and put it down, and then you can see the block in the bigger world, and then you can see the block in the bigger world. And then if you turn around and you look into the actual little diorama, you can see the tinier block. And if you could, I doubt you can, you could even see the smaller block. So it's never ending, and there's ways to get out and, go to the bigger worlds or the smaller worlds, I jump into the little diorama all the time. So, but it's just such a wonderful visual, not to mention anything that's really like you can pick up and stuff. I love the fact that they gave it like a sheen, or like a glow. Like there's even some pieces that like shine a light up into the sky a little bit, so it's there. I'm like, oh yeah, I put that down somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there it is, all the way over there. So that's always a helpful piece. But not only are the visuals great, but the audio, oh my, the voice acting is buttery smooth. I feel like the characters believe what they're saying, and they're speaking their mind, right? I haven't necessarily gotten into anything super super emotional yet, but there was a moment where it's pretty early on, I think, where they talk about how they think they love each other, or that they love each other, and it felt so real, so sincere, because I mean, I was there at one point in time. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have been there, and they go like, yeah, and they did it in such a way that's so relatable. Like, I think I love you. You think? I mean, that's not very convincing. Well, but it is so awkward to tell somebody that, and they did it so well. It just felt cute, and like I was rooting for them, even though I ought to, even though I already know what happens because the game tells you at the start. So it kind of just sucks a little bit. So, but on top of the voice acting, you also have this music, and they use some really good soundtracks. I've had several that I've gotten to listen to. About every world or so, they throw in one really good soundtrack, and then you'll have like the ambient music playing in the background. But like, I've had like a Frenchy kind of song playing in the background. I've had like a rocky kind of soundtrack. Like, it really always sets the mood for that particular world, and it's just like, it's fun to listen to. It's good quality stuff. So I really enjoyed those parts. Now, that being said, I've said that audio and visuals was a big selling point, but by no means am I dissing on the gameplay, because the gameplay was unique and fun too. Not gonna lie, I struggled a little bit, even though it's very simple. You have a button to jump, you move around with the left analog stick. There is no sprint. You pretty much just sprint all the time. You can pick up objects with square, and you can go to like place them with circle. You have to like tap it once to go into placement mode, and then circle again to actually place it. See, my problem is I want to click square, and then I want to click circle, and then I forget that I'm in placement mode, and then I get confused. But aside from just my stupidity with the controllers, it's very basic. I mean, like I said, you just pick up stuff and you place it, but it's simple. But they do such a great job though with it, because again, like I said, the whole idea and premise is that they want you to look around and figure out new ways to get to the next place. I am sure that there have been several instances where I have figured out a way to get something that wasn't necessarily the way they wanted you to do it. But that's the whole point of the game, is to find new ways to do things. And it's just fun. It's just fun to go around and to work your brain and figure it out and move on and get that next piece of story. So, like I said, by no means am I sleeping on the gameplay, because the gameplay is great. But there's not much to say about it because it is so simplistic. Now, as for any bugs and issues that I had, honestly, I very rare do I say it. I don't think I've come across any, uh, and I don't think it's fair to even bring up my latest thing because I don't know if it's a bug or if it's just a simple fact that I'm doing it wrong. Because that's hard too. Because on one hand, I want to say, oh well, it's a bug, but on the other hand, I'm like, well, maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Because see, like there was a moment further in where I needed to get a crystal out of this room. I didn't know how to get it out of this room. I finally figured out a way to do it, but I'm fairly certain that it was not the way to do it. But it worked for me. And I sat there, probably worked on it for like 20 minutes or so, trying to figure out how to get it out. And I just could not, for the life of me, figure out how to get it out. Because if I took it, I was trapped. So there are moments like that where you might think it's a glitch, but it may just be that the riddle's just difficult. Who knows? So, aside from that, really, I don't think I've come across any. It's really well polished and it's really fun. So, with all that said, where does Maquette stand, right? Well, story was fantastic, and even though I feel like my heart's going to get broken in the end anyways, it's going to be ugly and I'm going to cry. Yes, I'm a man that cries. Don't make fun of me. I'm going to say I'm probably, as of right now, for me, the story gets an 8. I love the story. It keeps making me want to go back to play more. So, fantastic review on that. Turnaround, gameplay, simplistic, not much to say about it, but it's very smooth and very nice. So, we'll give it a 7 just because it's simple, but it's good. Visuals and audio, I've already talked for like probably 10 minutes just on that alone. So I don't need to say any more about that. I honestly would give the audio and visuals just a 9, just to give it a 9 because I just love how it looks. I love the sounds. So a 9 for audio and visuals. And then I'm not gonna deduct anything because of bugs and glitches because, like I said, as far as I'm aware, I haven't come across any. So, really, I got an 8, 9, and a 7. So, my middle ground is an 8, which puts Maquette in the number 1 spot. The highest rating we have given a game is Maquette, 8 points. And I think it's well deserved. I think it's a fun game, especially for the fact that it's free for all PlayStation Plus members. So, please go get that game. They do say there is a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 version. I was playing this on my PlayStation 5, and that's how I downloaded it. I cannot say, however, if you can download it for free on the PlayStation 4. I'd have to ask around. But as of this moment, the only place I have checked is on the PlayStation 5 store, because that's what I have. So, that being said, keep that in mind. If it's not available for PS4 users for free, I do apologize. That should be remedied, I think, because they have a PS4 and PS5 version, so I don't see why they wouldn't do both. But 8 points, Maquette is fantastic. Be sure to check it out. Guys, that's all I have for Maquette. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, tell me if you like it, tell me if you didn't. Tell me if there's anything you want me to change. We're super open here on the night shift. We're always trying to change things and do better. So by no means feel like you can't talk to us and see what we can do. I mean, we're always open and engaging with you guys. So, but also share this with your friends. I mean, if you like it, right? Maybe they'll like it. and then we can get everyone to know that Maquette's a fantastic game, right? Because that's the whole point. And then we can all sit here and talk about games and have fun together, right? That's what this is about. I mean, this channel's nothing without you guys, and you guys are awesome and wonderful. You guys have been super supportive, so keep doing you, man. You guys have been great. Aside from that, that's all I got. I hope you guys had a fun time, and I'll see you guys next time.